What's up, y'all? I want to speak about a young lady that came out and who actually had the balls to speak, even when she know that she would be slandered by other women, but she came out and spoke the truth. She was revealing some things. She made a good point about Gabrielle Union and how she was talking about how transgender men or drag, whatever, are being hunted in this country and all this stuff, which is just a straight bold-faced lie by Gabrielle Union. You know, that is just so evil and wicked to say something loosely out of her mouth like that, knowing the following she has and the power behind her voice and the influence she has on regular folks, you know, that's not in front of a camera. You know, I cannot respect her, and I definitely don't respect Dwayne Wade for allowing, you know, it's one thing to allow your son to make a decision to be a girl, but when you're willing to go even as far as making that child cut off their sexual organ that they were born with, and it's almost like to say to the creator or the manufacturer who helped you and the mother bring forth Zion, you felt like, oh, you know what? God made a mistake. The universe made a mistake. Mother Nature made a mistake. You should have been a girl. You were meant to be a girl. I encourage you. You want to be a girl? Go ahead. You know, matter of fact, let's just clip it off. We'll give you a female, but JJ. But this is dangerous because now it's apparent that this is not all women now, but I feel like women in a lot of ways are using men who don't want to identify as a man. They are using them to try to start war on masculinity and men in general, which is the most ridiculous, most dangerous thing you can do, which is to try to turn man against man. Men war by themselves anyway, so I know somebody can say, well, what you mean? Men been fighting each other forever. But at the end of the day, for a woman to initiate the fight and to play this Eve role and to try to persuade and convince the community of men who belong to that community that a masculine man is the enemy, that right there is going to backfire. I promise you that. And Gabrielle Union, she better be very, very careful, because she forget what a man thinks about her and what she said. You know, her maker is going to deal with her, you know. So I ain't even worried about that. She going to get hers. But for everybody else, like, you know, women got to realize that men are not the enemy. Now, there are a lot of wicked men out here. There are a lot of predators. There's some animals, woman beaters, murderers, serial killers. I'm not justifying anything for these clowns. I ain't justifying nothing for a wicked man. I'm just talking about a hard-working man and a man that that stands on principles and that still respects people and don't have no hate or no hidden agendas towards anybody. You know, his preference is his preference. That's the problem. I think people need to learn how to respect a man's preference too. You can't force a man to accept something that he don't like or don't have interest in. You know, I mean, at this point, right at this time, maybe back then in the early 1400s or during slavery times, when they were still slave masters and they had slaves and they had the servants, and they had the way they were treating their wives weren't even good. So it was like, really, everybody was a slave except for the slave master. Even the wife was pretty much a slave. She was a servant in a way. But real talk, it's getting out of hand now to try to make it seem like all men are the monsters, or are all of these monsters that's out here. There's some that's out there, but the numbers, come on, statistically, come on now, like, it would probably have to be, you might get one serial killer in a crowd of 100, maybe a crowd of 1,000. You might have a few pedophiles in a crowd of 100, like maybe 3, 4, 5 pedophiles. It's probably more pedophiles out there than anything. And I don't stand with none of them either, because that's some bullshit too. There's nothing to justify that. And I would hope that it's not pedophiles in that other community too, and that they just giving them a pass to do that because they are part of that community. I despise anybody that would try to mess with little kids, who would try to take advantage of a woman's innocence, any of that. But this unfair treatment that's going on, and all of this nonsense that they're putting out there to try to make it seem like people are being hunted, or people that belong to the LGBTQ plus whatever community that is, for them to act like they are being hunted and all this other stuff. Show us the statistics. Don't just loosely say something out your mouth like that and make up that story when you got that voice and you got power because you're a celebrity, and you just gonna make people believe that. And unfortunately, a lot of women believe stuff that they hear and see on TV. It could be a movie a woman can be watching sometimes. She'll really start getting caught up in what's going on in that scene, or what's going on in the movie and the plot, and then she'll start perceiving the world in that way. I'm not saying all women like this, but women can be very easily influenced because their emotions, they're very emotional, and movies are very emotional. Music is very emotional. And just women are just emotional in general. So sometimes a woman has to be careful what she allows into her subconscious mind, and what she allows herself to view and hear, because sometimes women will just believe what is, but everything is not what you think it is. All men are not monsters. Transgender men are not being hunted by nobody at all. So for Gabrielle Union needs to be crucified for that, on a spiritual level. I'm not talking about like just, I'm not talking about like she needs to be killed or some shit like that. But I'm just saying, like, that right there, that'll get you dealt with by the Most High right there. Mother Nature, I call her Mother Nature. She has a name, but nature will take care of you in that regard, because now you're just trying to start a war against man. Men carry the seeds. So you're trying to eliminate all the seeds, the men, the seed carriers, and you just want to just give it to all the givers, the receivers. So you want to eliminate all the givers and just keep all the receivers. So everybody just want to just take. No. I just want it. Receive. I want to receive. Women receive the sperm from the man. Women receive babies. Women receive money. Women receive extra respect, extra attention. Women are nothing but receivers at the end of the day. Men are givers, providers, protectors, all that. I want to say women aren't nothing but receivers. Women have way more value than just being receiving. But overall, naturally, men are givers. Women are receivers. And it's like, for you to try to like eliminate the very people who helped build this planet and built this country and helped build shelter, protection, and beauty to the world, you got to be insane to just want to make it be all about women. Just like a man would have to be insane if he thinks, oh, this world would be a better place with all men. What? Hell no. So people got to be more realistic and stop with this gender war stuff and just be real with what's going on. I can be real with the insanity in regards to the men, and I can be real with the insanity in regards to women. But I feel like the problem is men are always going to be held accountable and crucified and exposed for whatever a man in general does. Not all men, but just a particular guy. If some guy messes up, they're going to super blast it, put it all over the media tabloids and all that. If a woman does something, okay, well, let's not reveal her identity, but we'll just say that this guy was involved with this woman, and like, damn, like for example, the coach for the Boston Celtics, like they super exposed him. We barely found out who this woman is now. Like, I was like, why do they always be trying to do all this protection of women like as if women could do no wrong? And it's the same protection that community is getting too. It's like they protecting all the inappropriate behavior, the indecent exposure in public, a lot of stuff that they can do and get away with that we cannot do and wouldn't dare do because there's laws in place and we would get arrested. They allow them to do that. They give them their space, the whole little situation to where they can just set up shop and act a fool. It could be spreading viruses, diseases, orgies in public if they want to. Nobody says anything. And I feel like a lot of reasons behind this is because a lot of women support them. Women have a lot of power when they come together in solidarity. But I feel like a lot of women have been coming together for the wrong stuff. I feel like it's more stuff that they come together for. It's like more evil, wicked stuff they come together for, rather than good, positive, prosperous things, for the world. Not just women, babies, and just this community, but y'all shitting on all men. Like, what is your purpose in this world? You are not living your purpose if you feel like as a woman, your purpose is to just serve women, babies, and confused men, or men that are not, that were born with male organs, that were born males, but they don't identify as such. If you supporting all of these other people, all of the babies, all women, and broken men who maybe have suffered some trauma in their past and they never really got the proper help, but you want to shit on all men, masculine, hardworking, heterosexual men who, without these men, this planet would even go as a float. Even though there's a lot of destructive men too, but overall, men still build, men still create, men still protect, men still provide. Men still have been the breadwinners by default because of just nature, the way things are. There's a duality, there's a balance. But it's the women, and these communities are solely invested in destroying man. Even though they got sons, they got fathers, uncles, cousins, they smooth forget that. Or they really just don't care. Maybe they didn't get the proper care growing up, and they have this resentment and hate towards everybody in the world. But you need to be miserable and resent the world on your own. They need to find a big piece of land in this country and just move everybody that's a part of that land, that country there, or that part of that community there, because they seem to not want to. They're disgusted by being around regular normal folks like us, like a regular man and a regular woman. It's like, if we're not a part of them, or we're not subscribing to them, they're coming after us. But then they'll turn around and use Gabrielle Union to say that we're coming after them. Really? We don't even want to be around that kind of behavior. Mostly, the ones that's not a part of that, we're either kind of grossed out by it, or we just don't want to be involved in that because it's just too toxic and dangerous for us. But even when we mind our own business and we let people do what they do and let the community do what they do, and let women still vent and bitch and complain and tear down men, it's like we're still villains. We're still the bad guys. So, I don't know, man. It's going to take a real shake-up on this planet for people to really start getting their act together. Then when shit is hitting the fan and everything is crumbling, everybody going to be like, oh, my God, Jesus, Lord, forgive me. I didn't mean to be a part of that. I was just trying to be compassionate. Okay, but you weren't compassionate to the ones that's been holding it down from jump. Good luck.